Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Belal Muhammad has said he wants to fight either Khamzat Chimaev or Leon Edwards next. Here's the clip.
Yeah, you know, your boy Darren Till, you saw him ask me to step in as a smash brother. Chimaev, he's still trying to figure out how to lose weight, get down to 170. I don't think he's going to figure that out. So I think the only thing that really makes sense now is me against Leon for the title. Otherwise, you can put me and Chimaev on the same card in London. And I'll fight him at 179.8 or whatever he came at. And then we could do that for a number one contender fight.
So you're preparing for fighting in London no matter what in March. Is this the target date?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Wherever the title is, that's where I want to be. The welterweight title, I want to be on that card. If anything happens, I can step in. Or if me and Leon see each other in the street, we can show out there too.
Chael Sonnen shares his opinion on the possibility of a future fight between Paddy Pimblett and Conor McGregor.
Paddy the Baddy versus Conor McGregor. Not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, let me go a step further. Do you have a better one? Paddy the Baddy. He said it's the biggest pay-per-view that you could put on. Talking about himself versus Conor McGregor. And he said, but I don't see it happening. He looks pretty big right now. I think he's going to come back at 170 pounds. And I'm going, well, hold on. Let me stop you right there. You look pretty big yourself. Would you not go up to 170 pounds to fight Conor McGregor? I mean, I just thought that was quite rich coming from a guy they've renamed Paddy the Baddy because he looks so big. Paddy the Baddy said that would be the biggest pay-per-view that you could put on. Now, Paddy has largely led a life where you could see how he could come to that conclusion. I'm just sharing. If Paddy's going to fight Conor, who cares? What are you fighting for? Why are you guys fighting? Why would you fight? Why would you fight Conor? Conor do something? Conor say something? Conor get under your skin? Something around town? Something on social media? I'll take absolutely anything. I will not take that you're fighting Conor and Conor's fighting you, and therefore I should care.
Darren Till shares a crazy sparring story about Khamzat Chimaev, which occurred during the training camp for the Nate Diaz fight. Here's the clip.
When he was training for the Nate Diaz fight, but in camp in Sweden, his coach come up to me, he's like, he's put fingers up to him now between rounds and like talk proper to him. Because we always talk, me and him, but he was like proper, like get in his head and get him angry. I was like, do you want me to? Yeah, proper. So we had like the little gloves on and that, and like, so we were sparring, and I just started doing that in his face. I was going, you little. Oh. And as I'm there, he clips me at one, and I go back, and I'm thinking, oh, it's on now. So I remember giving a body shot like that, and he went, ugh! Yeah. And he gave me one back, and it was like a full-out war. But like it was, awesome. His coach was like, this is what Nate's gonna do. He's gonna come in, put the fingers up, and talk. So you know, that was it. That was one of the. We had a great sparring session. It was. I could see both of us. We were like, "Oh yeah, it's on."
It's a real fight.
It was good. It was good.
And you never gain more respect for someone than in those moments, right? All the friendship shit is cool, but when you go and you fight somebody, you're like, "Oh man, this dude's actually. I'm getting better."
Valetina Shevchenko joined the Schmo for an interview to discuss who she may face off against next in the octagon.
2023, new year, everybody's chomping at the bit for your title. You got a lot of options going on. You got Mannion Fior, the number one. Taila Santos, everyone thought that maybe she could get a rematch with you. And then you got someone who's in the lower weight division, who's the champion at the strawweight division, and Zhang Wei Li, who wants to fight you. Also, there's Amanda Nunes, the trilogy fight. Of all these great fights, what do you want?
You know, it's exactly when you have that much options, and it feels good that so you are deciding what is the next move. And I think it's really good fights, all of them. I was thinking about Manon Fiorot first, because to defend my title, to defend flyweight, and I asked the approach to UFC to send me like the agreement as soon as they can. So because I was ready to fight in December. I was ready to fight tomorrow. Yeah, but yeah, I probably will do it next year, and either fight will work for me. I think the only Taila, she kind of like has to prove about herself that she deserves this title again.
Following Dana White's recent comments surrounding a potential fight between Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor, Chandler says he's certain a McGregor fight will happen.
You look at Conor's numbers, he's always doing over $1 million, no matter if he's fighting anybody. He'd be fighting a cold and he's going to do over $1 million. You fight me, I think the most exciting guy in the UFC right now, most momentum, must-watch TV, can't miss pay-per-view, butts and seats, hopefully here in Vegas, International Fight Week. I don't know when it's going to be, but just to build up the lead out, the lead up and battlegrounds of epic proportions. You know, I want to win the title. I want to be the #1 guy in the world, but I also want the brightest lights, the biggest stages, the biggest opportunities, and the biggest opponents. And Conor McGregor is the biggest opponent that this sport may ever see ever, you know? So we'll see if it happens. Obviously, Dana's on board with it. I think the UFC is on board with it. I do think Conor's on board with it. We've seen mine and his interactions in the past. You're not going to see me out here bad-mouthing him and mother effing him and tweeting him and all that kind of stuff. That's not my style. I've always been respectful of Conor. I've always said the sport of mixed martial arts is better when Conor McGregor is in it. So let me be the other guy on the other side of the octagon.
Glover Teixeira calls Alex Pereira one of the best middleweights in MMA, and then goes on to reveal his MMA GOAT. Here's the clip.
Alex is a different beast.
So you could see him potentially putting him away as well.
Oh, Alex, bro, I'm telling you, like when they fight him, they'll realize that. You know what I mean? He just beat one of the greatest middleweight, the second greatest, right? Anderson Silva is the greatest middleweight of all time, and I believe the Adesanya was the second, you know.
And lastly, you are such a great fighter, and so many people like to discuss and debate about who the MMA GOAT is someone who's, like I mentioned, made your pro MMA debut back in 2002. Who do you consider as your MMA GOAT?
Oh my God! Yeah, I was asking this question the other day. It's come back. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. Khabib is up there, but like have Royce Gracie because everybody's champion at the era, right? At the time, right? How good you are at that time.
Khabib Nurmagomedov calls Islam Makhachev the best fighter on the planet. Khabib said, even though Volkanovski is #1 pound for pound, they'll say he's short and this and that. People will always talk. I told Islam, why do you need that? There were only 2 guys from the post-Soviet era at #1. He has the opportunity to be the 3rd. Fedor Emelianenko and I were #1 pound for pound, and if Islam wins, he'll be #1. There are people who say good things and those who say bad things. I don't think it's something that deserves attention. Whether you like it or not, Islam Makhachev is currently the best fighter on the planet. Gilbert Burns talks about the drama surrounding a potential fight with Jorge Masvidal. Here's what Burns had to say.
Were there any names specifically they were offering you or asking besides? We've all heard the Jorge thing, but were there other names they came and approached you with?
No, but George was the #1. Whenever I talk about George, UFC liked the idea and they took the idea. They said, "Oh, we want to do the George fight." I kind of like, are you sure he won it? If you don't, give me another guy. And the other guy that I asked for was Joffrey when he called me out. That's the one that I wanted. But then real quick, he got a fight schedule with Shevchenko. And there was no other name. There was mostly Jorge Masvidal. And then after that, whenever multiple occasions the fight wasn't in the table no more, they asked for Belal Muhammad. But I think he just got back from Abu Dhabi, and the other name was Neil Magny.
Burns then had this to say when asked if Jorge was lying when he said he was never offered a fight with him.
He was lying for sure, or Hunter in the UFC were lying. Like, I don't believe they were, but they offered me George. You want to fight George? That was the question. You want to fight Jorge Masvidal, MSG?
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.